Greetings, dear friends, and welcome to our today's live conversation about the Creative Society project on ALLATRA TV UK channel. Nowadays, the Creative Society project is becoming more and more popular because the time of change has come. The time to change the format of our society from a consumer-oriented one to the creative one, and to change it purely by peaceful means and in the shortest time possible. We're going to discuss today how we see the society of such a new creative format where human beings are at the center of the society, where they're a fundamental unit of the society, and where every person can live happily and feel safe. My name is Anne, and today we will be hosting this live conversation together with Alexei, and he will now tell you a little bit more about the project of the Creative Society and introduce our today's guest.
Thank you, and hello, dear friends. And currently, the Creative Society project is at the informational stage where participants of the project and everyone who cares about our future are doing their best to spread information about the Creative Society to every person in the world. And such live conversations are one of the ways to make everyone aware of a real opportunity, a real chance to make this world a better place for living. And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest in today's program, Marta Barandiy, who has very interesting background, as apart from being a highly skilled professional in research, event coordination and communication in the field of international law and politics. Marta also is a co-founder of Kids Clubs, founder of international non-profit organization, poetess, author, and lecturer. Welcome to ALLATRA TV, dear Marta, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Marta, we know that you are interested in so many areas and you are active in so many areas. Could you please share with us what's your personal inspiration? What drives you in what you are doing?
Indeed, I sometimes do so many different things that I even forget what exactly I do. The deepest thing that drives me is a sense of justice, is the sense of humanness, to be human. And of course, everything what I learned in life and everything what I experience in life, I want to transform into beautiful experience for other people. I have a specialization in so many different fields that I am sometimes even scared of that. So many ideas come to my mind, and I directly want to realize those ideas, to execute them. And then I'm also scared of that because I realize that I can't execute everything, because in one day I might have 5 or 7 ideas and say, oh no, I don't have so many people to do that. I don't have that much time to do that. So I have to stop. I have to stop sometimes and think what's the most important and do that. And you could see that probably on all my platforms that I have, that they're so different, and every platform has already supporters and the teams.
Thank you very much, Marta. And now we're going to ask a technical support to show us a short video, actually your poetry. We liked it so much, and we would also like to let us viewers to see this and to listen to it.
All parties defending positions in clash between worldview systems, when the new social contract conditions are turning outsiders to victims. When fear does not meet expectation to undo the human existence, you come to reveal that mankind is not collateral damage resistant. When a change in the established order shapes new social contract standards, we get to know what for a human is normal when ignoring or preaching the answers. Are we in a state of war with each other? Are humans empathic creatures? Was it Hobbes who was right with Leviathan, or was it Locke with his own state of nature? Are philosophers our salvation? To whom do we turn for the future? When drafting the values of nations, let history be our teacher. In the new interpersonal order, between Hegel's slave and a master, beware of prediction by Orwell, beware of prediction by Snyder. In the digital age, we endow our privacy's total transparency. You have nothing to hide from my eyes now. I have nothing to show for your clearance. You defend the status quo of affairs. Are conspiracies just a mirage? What do companies do with cartels? What do spies do with espionage? No matter what side you are taking, your position shall make you complicit. Not knowingly, you are shaping the result you did not solicit. Government must be a defender of people's common advances. Humans, do not surrender your liberty's terminal chances.
Thank you, Marta.
Wow.
Very wonderful and deep poetry. But this is some kind of a cry, I believe, and I feel so much pain in it. And my question is, what, maybe not inspired, because inspired, it's a wrong word for this, but what made you to create this poetry, this video?
Well, since the very beginning of the containment measures of the pandemics, I could see how people are divided. So the pandemic divided people in their positions and in their view of how the pandemic has to be contained and the approach of the government should be. There are people who accuse each other of not sticking to the measures. There are people who accuse others for sticking to the measures, like listening to the government, and so on. So it's for me, it's a conflict. It's conflict between people that is being created, or it's being imposed from above, while not even realizing it. Government by imposing the measures that sometimes are not well thought, are creating this implied conflicts. They don't know how long it will last. They just, those people who are in power have to be examples. They have to lead by example. We are looking at them, and when they themselves are not taking responsibility, when they themselves are giving us controversial statements, one day one statement, other day another statement, they cannot expect that there will be peace in societies, because some people listen to them, or listen to that what they said one day, other people listen to that what they said the other day, and then it's like so much collision in what we experience. So that this all I experienced during the past 10 months, and the most painful probably was the painful time started as from October, when I started realizing how many collateral damage victims there were of the containment measures, not of COVID, but of containment measures. Like people who, you could see in my video, a girl with the red hair. This is the girl, 24 years old, Belgian, who took credit, or she had savings, 25,000 euro, and she invested all that money in her hairdressing salon. And I am not sure when she opened it, whether she opened it in August 2019 or August 2020. In any case, when the salon was closed down, the government did not give her any any money to survive. So whatever she invested, she closed it, and she had no means for survival. She was not eligible to get any financial support. And she talked about it in the interview. The Belgian media took interview, and she said that I opened this this hairdressing salon, and now I have to close it without any means of survival. And after 1 week or 2 weeks, the girl killed herself. So she committed suicide. And this was a very outrageous story here in Belgium. And everyone heard about it because the week before she gave the interview, and everyone saw her. And then I read many different articles, the news from different countries, from France, from Holland, from Germany, from Austria. And I realized how many people go through this experience of bankruptcies, of psychological damage, how many children are now victims of not being socially close with their friends, and they suffer, they have depression, they don't understand what's happening. The children, those who are not actually suffering from COVID-19, but they are suffering from the measures. So I'm trying to understand where is the balance. In this poem, also you could see that I am looking for the balance. It's not that I'm telling what the answer is. I'm just looking at what philosophers said many years ago, like where is freedom, where is life, security versus freedom. This is the eternal dilemma. Like you could see, I mentioned Locke, I mentioned Hobbes. Hobbes is a war of all against all, or Locke, who said that freedom of a person is the most important thing. And today our liberal societies are based on Locke's freedoms, Locke's notion of freedom. I mentioned there the Orwell's novels, and I mentioned Timothy Snyder, who was also telling us that freedom is important, and he is telling us today that freedom is important too. So I'm trying to understand where is this balance between freedom and security, and what is more important for me. I know for me it's a liberty, it's freedom, but everyone of course has to find for himself. So this poem is rather to let people think what the higher value for them is, freedom or security. And if it is security, just they have to pay attention, because those who can trade freedom to security will not have freedom nor security. That's Benjamin Franklin, and that's I think that he was like, he hit it was well, it's classic, you know that. Doesn't need any further explanation, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marta. Unfortunately, we hear so many horrible stories nowadays, and this is our reality. And of course, we do not feel ourselves protected. We do not feel ourselves safe, and this is, in our view, a dead end for our society. So we definitely should change something. We definitely should build something new, something really worthy, you know, and good for everyone. So let's try to do this together.
Absolutely. And it is so important that people are voicing this now, because for so many years, I can even say centuries, people are used to discussing these things that troubling them somewhere in the kitchen, you know, just somewhere among themselves. And then when they go somewhere, they're silent about everything, and they just pretend. We all pretend in a way that everything is fine. That's why it's so great yet to see also you voicing the stuff that, you know, something is wrong with the society now, that we need to change something. We need to start thinking about it. Yeah, as Alexei said, it is a dead end. You know, we cannot just pretend anymore that this is not happening and that this is okay. And yeah, in a way, this pandemic brought up everything that was sort of hidden, that was we were able to pretend for some time that it was okay, nothing was happening. But yeah, the pandemic brought it all up to the surface. And in a way, it is good, because all people started talking about it. People saw the scale of everything that is not okay with our society. And I think it all motivates us to start changing it and to start doing something about it, not even just talking, but also doing something about it. And the Creative Society project is exactly that. People coming together and started to think, okay, what can we change? What can we change together to together build a world that we all deserve to live in, that will make every person happy, not some people, not some countries, not some nationalities, no, everyone. And what we can do together as one united front, so to say. And we would like to tell our viewers a little bit more about this project. And now I'd like to ask our technical support to show us a short video about the history of this project of Creative Society.
This Creative Society project was born by the initiative of the people themselves. After we carried out many social surveys, interviews, conferences, and well, we talked to many people really all over the world. These 8 foundations of the Creative Society is the result of the desire, the demand of the people themselves, because they talk about it. They tell us how they want to live, where, in what world, in what kind of society they want to live, what values are the most important for them. And after analyzing everything, we understand that yes, there are these 8 foundations that now we can share with everybody. It is a complex of values of each person in this world.
As you can see, these 8 foundations, they came from people themselves, and they're pretty much the summary of everything we want, just summarized in a very short way. And my question would be the next one. Marta, what do you think about Creative Society? What do you think it should be like? How do you envision it? How do you envision this perfect, this wonderful world where you would love to live and where you wish your family and loved ones would live?
I was long thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. It's a it's a question that cannot be answered by one person indeed, and that's wonderful thing you are doing, asking thousands and millions of people around the world, because together we are power, and together it's a brainstorm, and in brainstorm we can figure things that one genius can never do. In my opinion, it all starts with the responsibility, with individual responsibility. So the Creative Society should first of all focus on individual responsibility of every citizen.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be individually united. We have to understand the responsibility of our actions, whatever we do or we do not do. But it also all starts with the children. How the way we educate our children shows us how our life will be in 20, 30 or 50 years. So how I see the education of children, first of all, they have to be taught ethics and ethics of communication between each other. It's very important. They have to understand that in this world, they depend on parents only till certain time. And then the rest of their life, they depend on the society and they depend on each other. They have to understand that from the first day they go to the crèche, to the kindergarten, to the school, that they depend on each other. This group of these people who are around, they have to treat each other already from that time very well, because they will grow up together. They will go to different parts of the world, and they will know already these people. This is their group of support forever, whomever we meet in our life, this is our group of support and we are their group of support, and we have to treat each other well. We have to learn from the very, very beginning, from the childhood, how to resolve the conflicts, because conflict exists. We are human beings. We are not perfect. Of course, there will be conflict of interest all the time. So we have to teach the children, we have to learn ourselves and teach our children how to resolve the conflicts in peaceful manner, how to find compromises, where to find compromises, and where to insist that you are right, where to show the other side, the other party, the responsibility, the part of responsibility. So this children education is very important. The other part of children education is, of course, focused on psychology and showing how the human nature works, how we react naturally, and what we can change about it. So social psychology is all part of one thing. Then, of course, mathematics, I think, is very important, because mathematics helps us react in a proper way and have a quick reaction to different situation. And it's also our logic. Mathematics is logic. I think it's very important to learn that. And then, of course, after after 5th class, 6th class, the children can choose some specialization or can learn biology and physics and other things. But I think the basics are psychology, mathematics, and conflict resolution, communication. History is also very important. History, because the ones who doesn't know the history is doomed to repeat it. This is for children. Then how does the creative society function in my ideal world? It's the control of the civil society, of the activists over the governments. I do not imagine that the governments will ever disappear, because there should be someone who administers us, who takes responsibility for administration. But I believe that this is the duty of every citizen, every responsible citizen, to control the government and never to praise it. Never. The government is never right. We have to remember that. We have to pay attention. They do many right things, but we don't say that. We keep on pointing at what they do wrong, because again, Orwell and all the philosophers, the Leviathan, we know they told us to pay attention that the government, or those who are in power, likes to get more power, and they push the borders of possible. They take our freedoms for their power. So they trade us security for our liberties. So we have to pay attention there. And I think that society, we have to be controlling the government in a more proper way. There has to be mechanisms, because now I don't see the mechanisms. I see, there are NGOs, there is media, which is normally has to be a fourth power, but it's not, because it's often bought by those in power, in executive power mainly, or legislative power. So the media is not our salvation, it's ourselves. There have to be mechanisms to control the governments. Then we know that there is international law, right? But we know that this international law is not has no mechanisms of control as well, which means that whomever breaches international law has actually often no responsibility. Or if the state is weak state, the state is forced to take responsibility. If the state is a strong state, like the US or Russia or China, it's often not possible to make them responsible for their actions that breach international law. So here I believe that civil society should also take an action and create some sort of mechanisms of control and be a part of this global governance. So the global governments should not come from above. It should come from bottom up. we have to be a global governance, not someone, not presidents, not executives, executive power. And I think here is a lot of place for discussion on how it can be done. So this is about the civil society taking control. And of course, we can see the power of big companies, of big industries. Sometimes big industry has much, not sometimes, actually in most of the cases, big industries, big corporations have more power than any society. So they can decide whom they bring to power, they pay for the candidates. And so we all play the game of elections. Those parties play the game of ideologies. We sort of go to elections, we sort of vote, but when they come to power, these politicians, they come to power, they serve the transnational corporations, they serve the companies and big industries and not those who brought them to power. I mean, who voted for them, because it's actually big corporations and paying for a politician for their campaign, they are bringing them to power, and then they have to pay back. So I think this has to change as well. The civil society has to take control there as well. So who pays for politicians? So maybe we change the whole concept of the politics and of those who govern. And I think we are on the way. The pandemic, what it did, it eliminated our social contract. The social contract that existed between the people and the government is now in the phase of elimination. Because the governments all around the world have breached the law in order to ensure our security. So they are watching how much people can give up. So we are giving up something in some freedoms, some rights for our security. So the governments are now like trading off, and they see what we are accepting, where we are quiet. If we are accepting something and we keep quiet on what they take from us, they are going to put it in the law. We remember that they are going to put it in the law. They are not going to give us back. So this is a new social contract. When we keep quiet, this is implied social contract between us and the government. We say, it's okay, you can take this. So it is very important to voice when something is going wrong, to voice it, to protest it not by violent manifestation, not at all, but peacefully, going to the courts, writing petitions, organizing flash mobs. Like, there are many thousands of means how we can show our protest, but we have to show that we are not going to give you our rights and our freedoms. This is what you are taking now as temporary, and it should stay temporary. And after it finishes, we are going to take from government even more our rights and freedoms. But the government has to be responsible for every action that it does. Yeah, I think this is how it should be. I'm very worried about our social contract now, and it's very good that you are doing this and doing this right now, the interviews and the Creative Society foundations and raising awareness, because this is our time now. If civil society, if citizens do not claim their rights and freedoms right now, the social contract will be written by those in power, and we lost it for generations.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. I totally agree on what you told about the education, what you talked about the international law, and about the governments. And I would like to read aloud the AIDS Foundation for Building the Creative Society, which is self-governing society. So this, please, technical support, could you please show the AIDS Foundation once more for our viewers, and I will just read it aloud for those who are not able to read from the screen. So, self-governing society. The concept of power in the creative society is absent. since the responsibility for society as a whole, its development, living conditions, and harmonious format lies with each human. Everyone has the right to participate in the management of the affairs of the creative society and in the adoption of laws that improve human life. The solution of socially important, socially significant, and economic issues that affect the quality of a human's life is submitted for public discussion and voting, referendum. So this is the way a lot of people on a globe envision the way it should be, the way everything should happen. For those who support this, please visit Allatraunites.com website and read other foundations. They will give a broader view of what people want in their life.
Thank you. Yeah, I would also like to ask you the next question is on a kind of little bit of a sensitive topic, but I feel that also it needs to be voiced. Just to remind our viewers that, Marta, you have established the networks, Ukraine Women in Politics, also launched the journal, excuse me, Brussels Ukraine Review, and founded the mobile application Leads Ukraine. And being a woman yourself and working in so many different organizations all over the world, what can you say about the gender equality at the moment? How safe it is for women in general in the workplace? And what's most important, how do you think it should be in the creative society regarding the gender equality roles and regarding the safety in the workplace?
Difficult question.
It is.
Yes, it is, because women have been suppressed or had been suppressed till 20th century, till the mid 20th century, even further. And till today, this generation is still there. The generation of suppressed and generation of those who were suppressing. But we see now the change in the tendency. So we see that women are raising voice. There are a lot of social media groups, social media pages. There are a lot of campaigns. There are a lot of strong women who come up with the projects that women can voice their fears, and so that women can get more self-determined in their career and in their way of life. I believe in freedom, and I believe that every woman, as every man, should be free to decide on the style of their life, on the style of their career, how they want to approach their career, whether they want to be more like family oriented or more career oriented. I believe in freedom, and I don't think that anyone has right to sort of give this role to tell the woman that she has to stay with children, or she has to give birth to children, or to tell the man that he has to earn more money. I think this is so old-fashioned, and it's just not natural. I mean, we all have our passions, we all have our visions, and we have to get freedom from this societal imposition in order to execute our vision, in order to realize our vision. And these roles, they should not be imposed. There should be more, I would say, mechanisms in the society in order to give the freedom, like the schools and the kindergarten and the after school, some after school places where children can stay, so that women can work longer and can spend her time on interviews, for example. Yes. So there have to be mechanisms in the society in order to give to people more freedom to be who they are or who they want to be.
Thank you, Marta. I agree with that. that a lot of women nowadays, they speak up, they become active, they stop being silent, etc. But at the same time, for example, we have a lot of live conversations with people from Africa, and both men and women, they say that there is almost no gender equality in Africa, let's say, and women, they are just underprivileged. They are not treated as they should be. They do not get what they deserve, and this is a huge problem, which divides us and stops us from living happily altogether. And so there is a lot which still divides us, but also we believe there is something which unites all of us. And that's why I'd like to ask you, as you traveled to so many countries, you met so many people. What common values, do you think unite all of us? And what unites us regardless of, our age or nationality, religion, anything? Just there should definitely be something in common. What is it in your view?
Well, we live on one earth. The earth unites us. The air unites us. The nature, the law of nature unites us. But also I think there was a Maslow, and the economist Maslow, he proposed the pyramid of values, and there are 7 values, I believe. So I think that all those 7 values unite us as well, because at a certain moment we are all moving from the basic to the upper one, from the basic of survival to the upper of giving, of love, so these values are common for us. Of course, the more we are on basic level of the pyramid, the less possibility we have to understand those people who, for example, have value of family, or value of giving, charity. So I think it's very important. The empathy is very important. We have to, that's what I also said at the very beginning about the children, that we have to have understanding to each other. I think that also what unites us, and I believe that every person that lives, that breathes, has the capability of compassion and empathy, and we have to awaken it. We have to make sure that those values are there. That's my vision.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marta. Thank you so much. And that apart from having such live conversations, we also conduct global conferences. We also shoot videos, write articles. Basically, we spread the information about the project in all possible ways. And I would like just to inform our viewers about the latest conference, which we had in December, on the 20th of December 2020. This conference is called Creative Society United We Can, and it gathered people online from more than 180 countries, and there were millions of people online. So basically, people discussed the current situation and the ways out of this situation, and how we can unite all together. We'd like to show a short extract from that conference. So our technical support, please, could you show us that nice cartoon which was prepared for the conference?
Elephants are habituated to a rope since childhood. First, they are tied to a tree, and an elephant calf trying to escape understands that the rope is many times stronger than him. Then, already being a grown-up elephant, he no longer even makes attempts to become free, because he understands that the rope, which is stronger than him, will win anyway. And when already a human who, well, the strength of a human and an elephant is incomparable, but an elephant still submits to a human and follows him with his head down, is the same in human society.
The whole point, imagine, An ordinary human, skinny and little, is leading an elephant on a rope. Why? Because the elephant believes that the rope is holding him. Friends, we have the same thing. Nothing is holding us, except our imaginary rope. And I would simply like to say, friends, let us stop being stupid elephants, and let's become humans.
Yeah, very, very nice cartoon. What's your opinion, Marta? Are we kind of elephants who don't know the real power and are just afraid of some ropes?
I believe that, yeah, we forget ourselves how we were in childhood, and we start living in the society under the conditions of the society. So society imposes on us its expectations, and we are we think there is no other way than just to meet those expectations. And when it comes like a time when we realize, oh yeah, but actually it's not my own vision, but it was the vision of my family, friends, teachers, or whoever, it might be just too late to change. I mean, too late. It's never too late, you say. But if you realize that when we are like 65 or 70, and then we see back our life, that our life could have been different, it is very sad. It is important to look critically at yourself and to keep on developing yourself, to keep on reading, to keep on thinking on what's important, and not just being lazy about yourself, not just letting anyone decide your destiny. So in a way we are elephants. Here it is. But I believe that we humans, like, we have many chances in life. We just have to see those chances when we can realize that we are already big enough and we can just take it and go.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah,
this
it's never
project
late
of
to
the
dream, and it's never late to become a human. Sorry.
Yes, and this project of creative society is exactly us realizing we are big, huge elephants, and we can take our destiny into our own hands and create together the world we want. And talking about such a world. Yes, sorry, go on.
There is a question of responsibility, you see, because the elephant takes the hand and goes. He takes responsibility about every step he makes. And I think this scares many people, and many people just prefer to stay because this is safer. This is safer. This is, I know, this condition is already familiar to me. What will happen to me if I just make few steps further? So no, better I stay here. And I think this is our enemy, and this we have to beat, this fear of taking responsibility. The thing that I mentioned from the very beginning here to you, that individual responsibility matters.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. And here it's also so important to see examples of people already doing it, because I think every person actually, he or she's scared of taking responsibility, but also it's our inherent need to do so. We all feel that we can change something, that we are actually powerful and we can take our life into our own hands. But I think, exactly what you've mentioned, fear is what's stopping us, fear that has been seated in us long ago in the childhood, that has been nourished by educational systems and by everything that is wrong in the consumer society. But again, this project of the creative society is also to show people that actually we're all the same like this. We all are scared, but we also all want to do something about it. And exactly, one person, if he or she takes even a small action towards changing the society, it can influence so many people. Sometimes we don't even realize how much we influence. You've mentioned it also in the beginning, yes. our everyday actions, our words, our example may inspire so many people that we don't even realize it, we don't know it. So yeah, no action here is too small or insignificant or something. And I'd like to continue to tell our viewers a little bit more about the Creative Society. We've already mentioned that you can find all the information, full information, on the official website of ALLATRAunites.com. There you can find the 8 foundations of the Creative Society that we've mentioned today quite a few times. And there, in the article about the 8 foundations and stages of building the Creative Society, you can also see the 3 stages of how we are planning so far to build it. And right now we're at the first stage, the informational stage, and this very important stage. It cannot be unregarded or something, because it is very important. We cannot move to some exact actions unless we unite. And in order to unite the whole world, to be united, the world has to actually know about this. So here comes the first informational stage, is just to let people know that this is happening, that we all want it, and and that we are all on the same page, and that this project is so global and is so huge. And yes, now our viewers can see on the screen some of the foundations. And yes, just to mention to our viewers that our today's live stream is exactly one of the things that we do at the informational stage. Just spread the word, spread the information. We also do it through just personal communication with our friends and through our social media accounts and everything. Again, I will emphasize it once more, because I think it's super important. No action is too small. Every little way we can spread the word about this, we can let people know that this is already happening. This Creative Society is already being built. People are already uniting. It's very, very important.
Yeah, and we understand that we can build a world where everyone will be happy only together. A group of people cannot build such a world where everyone will be happy. So we can build it only together. That's why we want to reach everyone. And for doing this, apart from all other means, we use the theory of 6 handshakes. And a question to you, Marta, is whom would you like to invite for the next live conversation? And maybe you would like to be a co-host of such conversation. And please don't restrict yourself. I mean, if you know a lot of people whom you would like to take part in such interviews, please let us know. Because as I mentioned, our goal is to speak to everyone. So please, if you know who you'd like to nominate, please.
Yes, I know already whom I like to nominate. I'm not sure that I can mention their names without their consent, but I definitely know one.
Yeah, definitely.
One person here in Brussels. It's my colleague and my friend, a woman. She can give you many interesting insights. So I will definitely give you her name. I also will think of other people in Germany, in Ukraine, whom I can nominate, whom I can recommend. But I think that I have few.
This is great. The more the better, the more
Great,
the merrier. And yeah, I would just like to mention that actually anyone at all, you don't have to be nominated to participate in our live stream. So in the project, of course, anyone from anywhere in the world can join. It is super simple. You just go, as you can see now on the screen, you just go to our website, you see this huge red button, join, you press it, you answer just a couple of super simple questions. You don't need to share your personal information if you don't want to, and then you're already in. Our volunteers will contact you shortly, and you can see which way you want to join, which way you can participate. And yes, anyone can also join such live streams as a guest or as a host, co-host. So any way you want to participate, you're very welcome to do so.
Yeah, I'd like to remind our viewers that the Creative Society project has inspired already millions of people all over the world, and this number is growing every day because the Creative Society is what we all want, regardless of who we are, regardless of our nationality, language we speak, age, gender, religion, anything else. Creative Society is a safe, harmonious, friendly, prosperous, perfect world we all want to live in, and in which we all deserve to live, finally. And by joining our efforts, by each and every of us participating in any way he or she can, we can build the Creative Society so much faster. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for being with us today. Marta, thank you so much for your inspiring answers.
Thank you.
For this brilliant interview.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you.
And I wish you a lot of success.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unprecedented event of present history. Initiative that comes from people around the world. Main project of humanity. People stopped being silent about urgent issues of our society. How it all started. May 2019, International Online Conference, Society, The Last Chance. 140 countries of the world, hundreds of thousands of people online, hundreds of broadcast platforms, translated into 7 languages simultaneously. If we all want to live in peace, why do we have a world of violence and destruction? It is up to us to build a different world. How can we do it? December 2020, Creative Society, United We Can. 180 countries of the world, millions of people online, thousands of streaming platforms, 35 languages simultaneously translated. People have voiced today's reality and what they truly desire. And it is the Creative Society. All cultures have an image of the ideal world people want to live in. A world that prophets talked about. The time has come when we can make it real. How will we use this chance? Let's meet March 20, 2021, 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. International online event of global scale. Creative Society, what the prophets dreamed of. This is the day the world will unite to find out the truth, join the entire humanity, and spread the message.